So at this point, you will have your design transferred to your block. We're going to learn how to use this carving tool through the video and how to change out blades on it. So in that back end of your carving tool, there's a screw off cap, and that is where all your blades are kept. I'm going to start with a number 2 blade. You'll see on the back side of your blades, there are numbers that are stamped on there. You guys have 5. I just have 3 different ones in this set. You'll have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I believe. But the ones you'll typically end up using are a 2 is kind of like the most common one. Sometimes a 3. If you want really small details, you'll use a 1. So the ones you're not going to use, please put back into the base. And there are 3 pieces in the top part of your carving tool. You'll see a little space between kind of a ball and a curved metal piece. So I'm going to show you those 3 pieces by taking off the top part, and I'll take them out of the head. Again, you have that little like rounded ball piece that's in the middle there. And then you have a curved piece that the ball will slide into. And both those pieces go together and go into the head of the carving tool. And then that gets screwed onto the handle. If you do not have all 3 pieces, just come see me and I will make sure we fix it. You're going to screw it on not all the way tight because you need to put your blade in. There's a rounded part that goes into the carving tool between the ball part of the head and the curved metal piece. Then you're going to tighten it. I think it's best if you hold the top part with your left hand and tighten the handle by screwing the handle to the right. You want to make sure that it's nice and tight before you start carving. You definitely don't want to put your hand at the top because your blade will end up in your hand, and we don't need that. So to carve, you are pushing down into the rubber, and you can see that my handle is pretty much horizontal to the table. It is not standing up vertically. It is very low to the table, and I can get underneath the rubber in order to carve it up. Start with your outlines. Remember that whatever you carve away is going to be white or the color of your paper. You cannot replace anything that you carve. Once it is gone, it is gone. So be patient, take your time. Make sure you test out how to use it on the back of your block first. Again, test out how to use the carving tool on the back of your block first. Make sure you are not carving too deep or else you'll end up going through your block. Savable, but not ideal. So you're going to start by carving out your main outlines, and then you're going to go back and do textures. So for mine, I have a 2 that I just used for the big outlines. And I'm going to switch it to a size 1 for the little details of the texture on the leaves. But I realized as I was carving it, the 1 wasn't digging deep enough into the carving block, so end up changing it back. But when you change your blades, remember you're putting the rounded part between the ball and curved metal piece and tightening by twisting the handle. Blades that you do not use, put back into the handle so they don't lose them. And then continue carving. You don't have to follow your design exactly. You can make edits as you go. And you can test it out by using a crayon. This is all my daughters had at home, so I do have regular crayons that have no skin or wrapper that you can use. So like I said earlier, I changed back to a 2 because as I saw in the crayon rubbing, the number 1 blade was not working too well. So you're going to go through and get that texture. Again, you can change your different designs as you want. I went in and added some shading almost to my little pot that the plant is in. I thought that would add something than just a plain outline below and show some depth. And now I'm going to switch and I'll show you how to cut out circles if you end up having circles or round objects in your piece. So you can, I changed it to a 5. You can either turn your carving block as you work. Just make sure your hands are not in the way, or you can turn your carving tool. With the 5, it has a wider blade on it, so it's able to make a wider circle or oval if you use it in this way. Just test it out again on the back if you plan on doing something like this so that you get it right before you do it on your final block. And there you go.